Coming up on 9 News Mornings, a man is dead after a shooting involving Inglewood police, and they're not answering questions. This morning, what we do know and why it could take weeks or even months before we know exactly what happened. To stay and play in the mountains, a tiny home could open the door to a big adventure. We'll take you live to Leadville and show you how people are downsizing their getaway. And funnel cakes, spin rides, and large corn dogs, the Arapahoe County Fair begins today. A preview of all the events you won't want to miss. 9 News Mornings starts now.
And good morning, everyone. Some breaking news we're following this morning. It is official. JetBlue is buying Spirit Airlines. It is a $3.8 billion deal. This comes just one day after Spirit and Frontier, Denver-based Frontier Airlines, agreed to abandon their merger proposal. The new airline that this will create will be the 5th largest airline in the country. Well, overnight, heavy rain and hail came down in parts of Larimer and Weld counties. Wellington and Severance got some of the worst of it. Yeah, it was pretty bad up there. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen sent us this video of lightning in Arvada last night. It was a show. It just lit up the sky. It's kind of what it looked like when I was driving in this morning. Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Gary, Corey, and Ed with you on a Thursday morning.
Yeah, the lightning show was still happening this morning.
So you woke up?
Oh, overnight? Yeah, like 11:30. We had hail out by us. It was crazy overnight.
Yeah, there was a lot of hail out there. 1 inch hail in a lot of locations. Heavy rains, heavy gusty thunderstorm winds, 60, 70 miles an hour. So we had quite the activity.
We did.
Monsoon moisture continues today and again tomorrow, but will be cooler today. That's the one caveat that we like. So as far as the showers and thunderstorms go, they will be back again because we have a lot of monsoon moisture flow pushing up into the area. But yesterday was kind of exciting. I'm going to show you this graphic in just a minute. 63 degrees is where we are right now with 72% humidity. Okay, take a look at this. We had 1 inch hail in Akron, in Parker, in Castle Pines, Highlands Ranch, and at Corey's house. We had heavy rain. See, you made the graphic.
Yes.
And we have heavy rain. 2.1 inches in Boulder, and then Castle Pines had a 60-mile-an-hour gust, 66 at Chatfield Reservoir. So yeah, showers and thunderstorms. And here's the lightning show that Gary was talking about. We saw it this morning. A lot of that lightning continued over the evening hours and then out to the eastern plains, and now it is slowly moving out of the area. It'll be back again this afternoon. So the forecast, 78 degrees today with those showers and storms are back, 80 degrees, so much cooler than yesterday's 92. Showers and thunderstorms once again, and then Saturday we dry it out, so just late showers and thunderstorms, a high of 86, and here comes your Sunday, and here comes your 90-degree weather once again with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm.
All right, Ed, thank you. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen says there was significant rain totals around the Marshall Fire burn scar, but he says it didn't burn as hot like other fires have because the slopes are not as steep, and good grass recovery this spring added to stability on the soil. One of the firefighters first to respond to the Marshall Fire told lawmakers yesterday that it could have been significantly more destructive and deadly. Deputy Chief Sterling Folden from Mountain View Fire says if the 100-mile-plus-hour winds on December 30th hadn't died down when they did, the Marshall Fire may have burned all the way into Broomfield. The deputy chief also talked to the committee about the issues with emergency alerts during the fire. Very few people got the message to evacuate. Since then, Boulder County has started using a system that reaches more cell phones without people having to sign up. During the Marshall Fire, Boulder County relied on a system that only reached cell phones if people had signed up ahead of time. Fewer than 1 in 4 people had opted in on the day the Marshall Fire raced through Superior and Louisville. The county had access to a system that's designed to reach every single cell phone in a given area. They didn't have it fully set up, so they didn't use it. Many people never got the message.
We didn't get any notification at all.
Nothing.
And we never got it.
Well, it's a failure. It's a failure. It's an abject failure.
I mean, it makes me angry, frankly. I expected somebody to call me or text me on my phone and say it's time to evacuate.
Now, in the 7 months since the fire, the 9 News Originals team has been investigating why Boulder County couldn't use a tool the federal government calls essential and looking at the other counties that still aren't set up. You can catch the full story by visiting our website at 9news.com. Planes used to fight wildfires across northern Colorado are getting a new, more convenient place to pick up fire retardant. The stuff used in drops like this starts as powder. Crews at the Casper-Natrona County Airport in Wyoming are now set up to mix the powder with water and load it onto firefighting aircraft. The new base means planes fighting fires in Wyoming and parts of northern Colorado won't have to go as far to fuel up. That means they can make more drops to fight a fire.
We want to talk about the drive now as you get ready to head out. Little slick out here at I-70 in Wadsworth, but no problems to report other than that on the interstate. Clear across the metro, at least that's what we're seeing on our map so far. 225 drive both ways, very quick, 10 minutes between I-70 and I-25. If you're traveling out here through the Commerce City area, no problems on 270. For your drive right now between I-70 and I-25, that will only take you 6 minutes. No issues to report between downtown and the Tech Center. 14-minute travel time for you there both ways. On I-70 between I-25 and 225, you're looking at a 7-minute drive.
Erica, thanks. Right now there's a $10,000 reward for information about the death of a woman named Ma Kang. Witnesses say that a stray bullet hit and killed her just outside of her home in East Denver almost 2 weeks ago. Neighbors in the East Colfax community met with Denver police about it. They're frustrated because they say some of their 911 calls went to Aurora, some went to Denver. The victim's son and first responders failed his mother, he says, when she needed him the most.
As neighbors called the cops, as I was holding my mother's body, I saw her eyes, I saw her last breath, everything. As I yelled for my mother not to die, she was gonna die.
The director of Denver 911 says they are part of a national push to try and improve location-based routing to 911. Community members also say dispatchers need to update practices around cultural sensitivity. There's another meeting next week to discuss solutions for the crime around East Colfax.
As of this morning, there are not too many details about what happened during a shooting involving Inglewood police officers on Sunday.
Yeah, the biggest question remaining, did officers kill a man who was not shooting at them? 29-year-old man was arrested, but his 22-year-old brother was shot and killed. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson joins us from the newsroom now. And Darius, the decision on whether or not to charge these officers hasn't been made.
Hey there, Gary and Corey. It will be up to the DA in Arapahoe County, but again, that could take weeks or months. But at this point in time, what remains unclear is if these officers knew that other people were inside the home, or should they have known, and were they acting recklessly Sunday night. It was Sunday night when Inglewood police were called to a home on South Grove Street for what they're calling a disturbance involving family members. Police then say 29-year-old Philip Blankenship fired shots at officers from inside the home. Officers fired back, and Blankenship's 22-year-old brother Matthew Mitchell died. The Inglewood Police Department won't say if they shot and killed him. They did take Blankenship into custody that same night. Now, we spoke to a former DA about the case. He says what the police department has released so far is bare bones information, and investigators are likely still trying to understand what exactly happened.
Typically, when you go into these, you're looking at, did the officer commit a crime? Officers, just like anybody else in society, can use self-defense. And if the officer reasonably believes and does believe that they or a third party is in danger of being seriously injured or killed, they're allowed to use deadly force or fire their guns back.
He also mentioned that often in these investigations, police aren't too quick to take responsibility if they don't exactly know that they shot someone. Usually it'll take ballistic or forensic evidence to prove officers' actions in a chaotic situation like this. Right now, Corey, there are a group of law enforcement agencies that are reviewing video and also interviewing witnesses that will ultimately help the DA decide whether this shooting was justified.
All right, we'll see what comes of all of it. Darius, thank you. From airline tickets to Apple Watches and utility bills, a woman from Colorado is accused of spending hundreds of thousands of tax dollars on herself. Now she could go to prison for fraud. More than $800,000. That's how much federal investigators say Dima Martinez embezzled using government credit cards over a 7-year period. Federal court records say Martinez worked for the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Lakewood during that time. She's accused of submitting false receipts and creating bogus entities to pay money to through PayPal and Square. Martinez is currently indicted on 24 counts of wire fraud and bank fraud. The possible penalty, up to 30 years in prison. Martinez is expected to plead guilty in the case in October.
Staff members at Denver's 2 jails say a shortage of deputies is creating an unsafe environment at the facilities. The Sheriff's Department now down about 300 deputies, and the situation shows no sign of getting better anytime soon. Here's 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow.
In an email to 9 News, a nurse at the Denver City and County jails said because of, quote, massive holes in staffing, inmates don't get out time for days on end, meaning they can't take showers, make phone calls, or get exercise. She also said that the sheriff's deputies who do show up for work are exhausted because they're forced to work multiple 16-hour shifts of forced overtime. The nurse said the situation has created a significant safety concern for everyone involved, and that incidents of deputies and nurses being assaulted are increasing.
All of our leadership team at the Sheriff's Department are concerned about it.
Vince Line is chief of operations for the Denver Sheriff's Department. He says the department is authorized to have 875 deputies, but right now only has 586, a 33% deficit. Line says the shortfall has in fact had a major effect on operations.
It is certainly safe to say that we are making some significant operational adjustments on a daily basis to make sure that we can continue to safely operate both facilities.
Line says the staffing shortage has meant that some posts in the jail have to go unstaffed at times. He also admits that sheriff's deputies are now required to work some overtime. And while he does not have the most recent statistics, he believes that assaults on staff members have in fact increased recently.
It really is a balance between maintaining the safety and security of the facilities and the safety of our staff and others who work inside the facilities, and taking care of our staff.
Chief Line says solving the staffing issues in the jail is obviously going to take some time. Sheriff's Department just graduated a class of 23 deputies. Another class starts in a couple of weeks. Small steps, but in the right direction.